Sports View Land.
We were here today, or we are here today. We was hoping to announce Billy Joe's fight on the undercard of the 29th of November show at the Excel Centre, which also features Derek Chisora against Tyson Fury in a eliminated fight for the world title. A lot of things have happened during the last 24 hours, which I must admit, in my time in boxing, I've had some things happen to me. It's been exasperating, to say the least. We were hoping to announce Billy Joe against Chris Eubanks Jr., a fight that was highly anticipated by everybody, certainly by I know by all the fans, and having thought I had an agreement with his manager and promoter, Chris Eubanks, his senior, his father. It's sort of, how can I put it? It's every time we've spoken, things have changed, and it's not got to the stage where the contracts which we forwarded have been signed. Contracts were sent out early in September. Chris and young Christopher were in Vegas training. Their lawyer is based over here. For some reason, Chris has told me, and just before I came in the door, he was on the phone, back on the phone to me. He said that they never had enough time to deal with it, as they only just got back from Vegas. As I said to him, we're in the age of email, telephones, etc. These things are very easy to deal with, and I don't understand why we are where we are. Last night I was on the phone with him, his lawyer, our lawyer, and again, we thought we agreed something, and that was at 11:30. But unfortunately, what we agreed and what came out, and it came out the following this morning, even the money was different than what we discussed. Anyway, my initial reaction to that was to say, screw this, and I know that Billy Joe Saunders, which I'll come on to in a minute, I'm sure he'll tell you how he feels about it, but my initial reaction was to say, look, enough's enough. You know, Billy Joe Saunders is the European, British and Commonwealth champion. He's done it the hard way. He's fought for each of these titles. Young Christopher, great talent and precocious talent that he is. He's fought in 8 rounders. He's not even fought in an eliminator yet for a British title. In fact, he withdrew from one. Billy Joe has agreed to give him a voluntary shot. And that, I think, was doing it really for the fans more than anything. That's what he agreed to do. But we are where we are, and Bill is the person who holds all the belts. Bill is the person who holding them belts, whose prime consideration we have to look at. So he's going to tell you what he wants to do in a minute. But my thing was to move forward and make the basically it would have been a world title fight. But we're going to sit tight, because Bill will make his position very clear where we are, and then I'll tell you where we are as promoters.
Yeah. Just like to say first of all that he's had the contract from the first week in September. Now I'm the champion here. The only reason why he's got his shot at me now and a chance is because of his big mouth, and everybody wants to see him get knocked out, and that's what I would do to him. Now, I've booked flights to go away. I'm going away training camp, spending a lot of money on bringing people in, nutritionists, everything I need to prepare 100% for this fight. And you've got to keep messing around with contracts, changing money, changing a load of stuff. He's had loads of time for it. I mean, the way I look at it now, I'm going to move on after today. If he's not willing today to sign contract on 5 o'clock tonight, I'm going to move on to something different. Because I ain't got time to be waiting around for bums, and that's all he is. That's all he's boxed is Polish pub men out the pub. He hasn't boxed anybody. So, but yet he still keeps like he's a world champion going around. He's not a Golovkin. He ain't got a name. He hasn't got a belt. He hasn't done a 10-rounder. He refused a British title eliminator against, I don't know, John Rod or Nick Black, wherever it was. And now he's had his chance to fight me. Now he's ducking and diving. I think this is his way out, because listen, his dad's doing all the talking for him, but now he knows it's coming to it. He knows it's coming to fight time. He knows everybody's getting talking about it. He knows he's going to get beat. So, is he going to pull out? I think he hasn't got the bottle to fight. But, there you go. But as I say, I'll give him to 5 o'clock to get back to Frank. If not, I should tell Frank to make a different fight, put me on the bill, European or get me British outright, whether it's him or whoever it is. But he's got 5 o'clock tonight to sign the contract, otherwise I'll move on. Because I haven't got time to keep wasting on him. It's different if he's got a world title, then I've got to set tight, I've got to do what he says. He hasn't got to do what I say, he's just got to cooperate with Frank. Everything's been fair, he's getting extremely well paid for it. So I don't know his problem, there's only one problem with him, he hasn't got the bottle to fight. What I say is, he's a bully. He likes to get in there and punch around people who can't defend themselves. Let me tell you what this is, I'm not somebody coming from Poland, Germany, for him to smash up. He knows I'm coming in there to hurt him bad, and that's what I will do to him. But obviously he's not got the bottle to fight, so he's got 5 o'clock tonight to sign the contract, and I mean it, otherwise I'll tell Frank to make a different fight for me for the bill.
And I absolutely support what Bill's saying. So the deadline is 5 o'clock. Give the British fans what they want, or we move on. And it will be, and we do have a fight lined up if this doesn't happen. So, and I'm only doing that because the fact that Bill said that, and because of the conversation, Chris Eubanks rang me 10 minutes before I came into the press conference. So we are where we are. So now 5 o'clock. It's a very short document. It's around 8 pages. And if 2 lawyers can't work that out between them, and I've sort of worked on some real tough contracts and done them very quickly. If they can't do that by 5 o'clock, then we know it's not serious. So that's where we are, and so we will be able to let you know by that time today whether this is on or off, or who Bill is fighting. And as I say, we will be announcing whatever happens a fight for Bill after 5 o'clock. I just want to go through the fights that are on the card, which have been agreed and have been signed for. We've got cracking fights. A lot of these are 50-50 fights. We've got the British and Commonwealth Super Featherweight title between Liam Walsh and Garrett Sykes. Great fight for the fans. We've got a fabulous fight for the British and vacant Commonwealth Welterweight title between Frankie Gavin, the British champion, and Bradley Skeet, WBA Intercontinental champion. Again, brilliant fight on paper, I'm sure everybody enjoying that. We've got the vacant WBO European Super Middleweight title, Frank Buglioni against Andrew Robinson. That is a good fight. That's a tough fight, but again, the fans have done it. Got a fabulous little fight for the WBA International Super Bantamweight title, Luis Petit against Santiago Alioni from Argentina. And then we've got the vacant WBO European Super Featherweight title between Mitchell Smith, who's undefeated, against Zoltan Kovacs from Hungary. Great youngsters on the undercard. Got a great main event. The missing ingredient is is who Bill fights. So all I will say is Chris Eubanks Senior. You rang me, said you're watching this on live on streaming. If you're serious, 5 o'clock. Instruct your lawyer. They both have our numbers. Get it done, or if it's not done, we move on.
And I think that if he's got the mouth, what he says is, and he can beat Golovkin. I mean, come on, they're supposed to be professional people. Is everybody's been around boxing all their life here, can anyone put their hand up if his son beats Golovkin? You know what I mean? He's brainless, that's what I mean. And he just knows for 100% fact his son's getting beat. See, his dad can talk around him, his dad can talk to him why this fight's getting made, why people's talking about the fight. Yeah, you can beat Billy Joe, you can do this, son. But now he knows it's come to crunch time, signing a contract, and the fight's 9 weeks away Saturday. Now it's called squeaky bum time. That's what it's called. Now he knows he's got to face it. He's not ready for it. He knows he's not ready for it. Let me tell you one thing. Right, he's been to the Olympic Games at 18, has he? No. He's had 86 amateur fights. Right, lost 6. No. He's boxed all around the world as amateur. No. I've done from Southern area to Commonwealth to British to WBO and Continental to European. Has he boxed 110 round yet? No. He refused the British title eliminator. That's it. He ain't got no arse. He's not a fighter. Let me tell you one thing. People keep saying he's hungry this, he's hungry that. I've been brought up in an egg box all my life, come from nothing. He's been brought up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's had the choice. Do we want to fight? Do we want to go to college? Or where do we want to go? I've had to fight all my life. So if he wants to fight, I'm ready to fight. But like I said, it's got to be 5 o'clock. No later, otherwise, like I say, I want to move on to bigger and better things. Because I know around the corner I've got a world title shot, so I've just got to get through my next fight, whoever that may be, then I know that I'm going to be world champion after that.
Are there any... Oh, sorry, I just want to say one thing. Bill Ives, who's a partner with me in Box Nation, and we're both, between him and my family have quite substantial shareholding in the business. We come up to our 3rd anniversary. We're having a little lunch here on Monday to celebrate that and tell you about what's happening, how we got there, and obviously what we're doing in the future. Bill's a big believer in the channel like myself, and he's worked very hard with me to get us into this situation. I spoke to him this morning on the phone, and I'm sure he'll tell you himself, he said to me, I've never known a business like this, boxing. He said, what is it? Why is there always aggravation? Why can't people do their deals like they should do? Why do we get into this, why are we in these positions? And
that's right, I've never known, in my business, I've had my company for 41 years, we've got an excellent reputation, we always do what we say we're going to do, stick by deals, and I've done many deals over the years, run stockholding companies for 50 years. Shake hands, you stick by it. You stick by the original deal and do what you're supposed to do. Boxing, it's like, you think they were prima donnas, ballet dancers. It's just unbelievable. I don't know how Frank puts up with it, because his bus driver is mental. I don't know how he does it, because changing this one, you had all the nonsense with Tyson,
But we are where we are, and all we want to do is deliver the fans the fights. And the channel, it's with the greatest respect. Bill started out with me. He's been a Box Nation fighter. He's been there from the beginning, and we appreciate all the fights. And he's had some hard fights. I can't think of too many fighters in this country. I think it's his last 4 fights. He's fought 4 undefeated fighters in title fights. I can't think of anybody, to be honest, who's done that. So everything's been asked of him, he's done. He's stepped up, and he's local derbies, the whole thing. He did what he had to do. And I'm telling you, with Billy Joe, and we were talking about it the other day when we were talking about Chris Eubank's fight. You look at his record, and I obviously keep an eye on my fighters, because I've got quite an interesting guiding their careers and ensuring that hopefully my judgment, that they get through my judgment, they'll get to the top, and with the great training that Jimmy's done with him, he's done a fantastic job with Jimmy Tibbs. But you look at his fights, and you look at when he's been up against it, he's pulled it out, and he doesn't need marking time type of fights. He needs fights that are going to incentivise him, that get the best out of him. And I remember when he fought, Jared Fletcher, who's gone on to be quite a decent fighter. He was the underdog for that fight. Fletcher coming undefeated. He pulled it out of the bag and absolutely done a job on Jared Fletcher. And I think Fletcher went on to some bigger and better things. And in his last fight against Blandagura, that was considered to be a real tough fight for him. And when we look at Dan Bill's record, and you're seeing quite a few fights that have gone the distance. Is he a banger or he isn't? He certainly was a banger that night. He pulled a punch out, which must look like being one of the knockouts of the year, or a contender for it. So when he's got the bit between his teeth, when the challenge is there, you get the best out of Billy Joe. There's no doubt about it, and that's why I'd like to see this fight go on. If it doesn't by 5 o'clock, I can assure you, I think he'll be in a tougher fight if we don't manage by 5 o'clock. And as I say, he needs these fights to bring the best out of him. He's been a consummate professional and done it the hard way. As you said, Southern area, British, Commonwealth, European, done everything that's been asked.
Frank, can you tell us what the fight is that you've got lined up if Eubanks doesn't?
I'm not being, I can at 5 o'clock. I'm not being evasive about it, I suppose I am. But I can't at the moment because I have to get permission for the fight to take place, and because of the time difference at the moment, it's a little bit difficult, but it'll be a well-timed fight.
Wouldn't Billy rather have a world title fight than fight a Polish pub fighter?
Listen, I've been in it to be world champion all of my life, but when you've got someone screaming your name, what they're going to do, what they don't want to do, and everybody wants to see him get knocked out, I fight for the fans, and I've got 32, 33,000 Twitter followers, so many on Facebook. So all everybody's talking about is me and Chris Eubank. So before I move on to what I want to do, which I know it's going to be there before this fight or after, I just want to beat him and put him to the side. So he's shut up, chucked him to the side. You know, he's got a big mouth, so let him come out and try to prove it. If he can beat, listen, if he can beat Golovkin, you can beat Billy Joe Saunders, sure like. You know what I mean? Sure like to God. Come on. I should be a walk in the park for him if he can beat Golovkin. You know what I mean? His dad must be insane for saying that, for one. I ain't got a clue what his dad's on some sort of medical drugs or something, but to say that, he must be.
Any other questions?
Have you ever been as confident for a fight as you are for this one, if it happens?
Listen, I know for 100% fact, Chris Eubank Jr. will never ever beat me as long as he breathes air, ever. And I know that. I would lay my life. I'll tell you what, I've said it before when I boxed John Ryan, I say, if Chris Eubank Jr. beats me, I promise you not, I will give up boxing. I will stop boxing. My gloves are aimed up. If I can't beat him, I'm not going to be world champion. And I'm in it to be world champion. I'm not in here to be, you know, to pussyfoot around here to pick this opponent, pick that opponent. I'm a fighter, I fight anybody. Any middleweight in the world, I will fight. Simple as that. So him there, he's just, I will show people what if he's got the guts to step in the ring, I will show people what he is. I will exploit him for what he is, a fraud. And that's what he is.
Right, you think every time you call out his name and he calls out your name, you just keep him relevant?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. He's got 5 o'clock tonight. If you don't, you won't hear me mention his name no more because he's put to the backside. And me and Frank will be working on a bigger fight. And it is a bigger fight. What will be happening, hopefully, please God. Then, you know, so he'd be forgot about then. He'd be forgot about what. Then probably he'd get beat by some other British fighter.
Frank, what's actually the likely chance to eventually do this by 5 o'clock?
Well, it's really simple. We've got 2 lawyers, 2 solicitors. My solicitor knows what the instructions are regarding the contract, and it's up to him to instruct his solicitor. My solicitor got the instructions. We were on the phone till 11:30 again last night, having thought I agreed it, or it was agreed, God knows how many, every day it's been agreed. And that's why we, you know, unfortunately we are where we are. But if they can't get that sorted out by 5 o'clock, they've got what? 4 hours, from 1 o'clock onwards, 4 hours. If they can't do that, then they're not. Then they're either not good solicitors or they don't want the fight to happen. It's really simple. There's no rocket science about this. You're either going to give the fans what they want, or you're not. And then we move on, or the fight goes on. If the fight goes on, fantastic.
They've had the contract for nearly a month anyway. So
this has been going on, you know. And you know, and Chris Senior said to me that, you know, being in Vegas, you know, he's only just got back, and I'll reiterate, you know, if I do a deal with Bob Arrow, who's based in Vegas, he doesn't have to fly over here for me to do the deal, and vice versa. There's the agreement. Is that right? You know, I don't like clause 1, clause 2, and we negotiate and get it done. This is crazy stuff, and it's ridiculous, and it's a bit disappointing we're here today to be in this situation. You know, I'm getting on a bit now. The blood pressure last night really went through the roof because it's some of it is just fast.
Frank, will you be putting out a statement one way or the other?
Absolutely, yeah. 5 o'clock we will be announcing what we're doing.
Frank, you keep saying it's been agreed every day. What changes from there? Are they after more money each time?
Well, it's well, Andy's been dealing with it with part of Andy Owen, who's standing up the back there, and it just gets changed all the time. Last night we agreed something, and today what was agreed and what was reflected came back differently, and that's where we are. You know, I mean, it's pointless getting into the you know, the sort of details of it because it's the details what they are right now. I'm sure by 2 o'clock, if there is going to be negotiation, we'll change again. But I can't, you know, there's certain clauses in there. Obviously, we agreed that there'd be an ongoing situation should he win, and so forth. But you know, to having 4 fights in basically 3 months is you know, it's impractical. 4 months, I should say, is impractical. So things like that were in there, and anyway, that's all by the by. Last night we agreed it. Today, this morning, it all got changed. Apparently, They were all in the car ready to come up here. I said, we need to get the agreement signed. If you don't get the agreement, if the agreement's not signed, then we're out of this, we're finished with it. And that was my position. Came here, had a chat with Bill, and Bill said, we'll give him until 5 o'clock. He said, if he really wants it, he'll sign. If you don't want it, he won't sign.
To clarify, is he still financial?
No. All the money terms were agreed.
Was there were rematch clauses and things like that?
Yeah, I'll always have a rematch clause in these time. But first of all, it's a voluntary defence. It's not an ordered defence. And why would I have a rematch clause in there? If the first round or the second round or the third round is a clash of heads, there's a cut, and he's in front, why wouldn't you have it? You know, it goes without saying.
And I'll be happy, when I beat him, I will give him a rematch straight after if he wants it. That's not, I can't be any further than that. Before I move on for anything, when I beat him, I'll give him a rematch straight after, as if he wanted to get back in the ring with me.
Frank, what's the tickets? Obviously, you've been selling tickets on this fight as well. Has there been a lot of sort of an upsurge in the tickets?
Well, we have. I mean, we have, because we try to hold it, but we've held back as long as we can to announce it. We've had a tremendous take up of tickets, as I said on Monday, for the Fury and Chisora fight, and obviously, you know, we've not announced, or we've not had press conferences yet for the undercard. I mean, they're all top of the bills in their own right. You know, that's you know, in the Midlands, Skeet or down here, Skeet and Bradley Skeet and Frankie Gabb is a cracking fight in itself. You know, Liam Walsh and Gary Sykes, they're bill topping fights. These are all 50-50 fights on paper. You know, for a boxing fan, I think it's the best show, and hopefully, whether it be, you know, Chris Eubanks Jr. or Bill's fighting for the other title, then, you know, we've got a fabulous card. I think it's the best boxing card, pure boxing card that I've seen for a number of years. And I know everybody say, well, what about Groves or Frock and Groves? Well, let's get it right. You know, on paper, Carl Frock was going into that fight as a big favourite. These are 50-50 fights on paper. We don't think so. He knows where he's at with his fight. He fights Christian, but everyone's got a view on it.
Frank, if the fight with Billy Joe doesn't happen, does that have any effect on whether Chris fights on the 25th of October?
I'm not even going to get into that yet. It's pointless, and we'll see what happens.
How have you found them to deal with forwards?
Sorry?
Yeah, how have you found the new banks to deal with the forwards? Have they been okay?
Well, it's not them. I deal with Christopher Senior. Young Chris, I only ever spoke to him. I was saying to Bill outside, I only spoke to him probably 4 or 5 times. And he's, you know, quite personable, quite a nice young lad. But Chris Eubanks, you guys will be around. Chris, yeah, it can be. What did he say to me earlier on? I said to him, this is, you know, it's sometimes it's soul destroying and it's hard work. And he said, well, I'm Chris Eubanks. Where we are. I might get this show sponsored by Anadin.
Frank, ideally everyone obviously wants to see Billy Joe on this card to fight Chris Eubanks. Is there no chance of push it back a bit?
No, that's not going to happen. If this fight doesn't happen, this is not done at 5 o'clock, we move on. Absolutely, it will not happen. This is not, you know, we're not gamesmanship. I don't want anybody to think it's all that. It's very disappointing where we are today. And I think we're being more than fair, and there you go, it's 5 o'clock, deadline, you know, want it to be done with.
If this fight doesn't happen, would you be minded to cut him off the show on the 20th?
If this don't get made,
It's not going to fight, you want to be fighting on our show. There's no room on the card for another fight. That will not happen.
You know what I mean, on the 25th?
No,
doesn't fight on this one.
He will not be. No, he will be fighting. You either fight. What we agreed, the deal, that's all reflected in the agreement. Everything. We're not rather going to fight. We're either going to work together. Or we're not going to work together. We're not working together. We move on. You know, promoting is not all about being about one person, one boxer. If you're running a promotional business, you're looking after a number of clients. You're looking after them. And no one can dictate what you're going to do or think your business is going to be driven by them. It's not. I've been down that road with people over the years. And more importantly, you know, my emphasis has been for the last 3 years is a small group of fighters, including Bill, who we've done brilliantly. But my emphasis has been on building a channel, a TV channel, a successful TV channel. It's 3rd year coming up. It's what Bill and I have been working on very hard for the last 2 years. And it's become very, very successful. We've got a database of over 350,000 subscribers now. So, you know, we're all happy.
Jimmy, you've been in the game long enough. Have you ever experienced anything like this before yourself? And obviously, how frustrating is it you as a coach?
No, I've never experienced not this close to a fight. For Green, I've been involved with fights where injuries have occurred and they've had to pull out, all genuine, but I never seem to get to the bottom, Chris, you know. I've been listening to Frank, it's the first I knew about it today. And it's very disappointing because this fight is really, well, it's already been said, but it's really for the fans. All the fans, whether they're Chris Eubanks fans or Billy Joe's fans. He's doing it for the fans. And as he said, we'll get up and go away, we'll train. I'm sure we'll sort something else out.
Is this something you could have probably foreseen before? Because I mean, when you've been asked about Eubanks before, you've obviously...
Well, I said to Billy Joe when I was first making the match, don't be surprised if he pulls out. Just the things he's getting in your head that I didn't know it was going to come true. That's what's happened.
And it's funny, that's what Jim said to me, you know, weeks ago. We talked about it, said he'll pull out.
I think boxing's about levels, and when you know in your own head and in your own heart you're not at somebody else's level, you know, it's the truth. It's like me saying now, am I Golovkin's level? No, I'm not, because I know that, but I will admit it. But he won. He knows he's not my level, so his only option out is to moan about silly little pieces in the contract clause not to fight. And if that's what he wants to moan about and, you know, move on, I'll move on and I'll get on to bigger and better things, because there's definitely bigger and better fights out there for me to move me on in my boxing career on than wait about for him. So.
Jim, come up May, when do you go and play the game?
On the 11th of October.
And that's where, overseas?
Yeah, we're going to Marbella.
Yeah.
June out there. But it's all set up, all done, flight's done, everything's done.
He's scared to fight, yeah?
What?
Well, do you think he's scared and that's why he's messing
Listen,
around?
people can, I don't have to say that, people knows he's scared to fight me. Listen, if he ain't going to turn up against a press conference, is he going to turn up to get in the ring with me? We're 9 weeks out to the fight Saturday. So, you know, obviously that he hasn't got a bottle. He needs to step out of his dad's shadow and be a man for himself and get on and face the music. Has he got the bottle to fight me? No, he has not. That's what he is. He's running scared like a little woman hiding behind his dad. His dad can't help him in that ring. Once he's in that ring, that bell goes. It's just me and him. Matter of fact, if you do boxing, why I'm beating him, I'm going to talk to him. That's definitely what I'll do. It's just that, because it's not like I need to fight him, because I'm the champion, I don't need to fight him. But when someone's had a contract for a month and you're getting ready, you're geared up, you've booked things, you know, we all had things to do today. You know, Jimmy had people to train today, but he put that off to be here. You know, you don't just not turn up, or you don't just last minute, we're not fighting, we're pulling out over silliness. You know, so if you haven't got the bottle to fight, let him carry on fighting his journeyman, and he might build himself a record up to 25 fights, 20 wins or so, but he'll never get a title like me, you know.
The current world champions, is there a particular one you feel best suits your style?
I think with the word, not Golovkin, let him go, yeah. No, but Golovkin, listen, he's one, you know, he's one up there at the minute, he's doing his job and he's doing it well. And I think you've got to respect fighters like that, and I do respect him. But, you know, apart from him, any other world title fight, I'm sure Frank, you know, I'll be happy to be made for me. And, you know, we'll hopefully be speaking at 5 o'clock later, if we don't make this fight, and I might have my chance.
I'd just like the button there, Joe, if you don't mind, Frank. You know, it's all these world champions out there. They're all 31, 32, 33 years of age. He's just turned 25. He ain't nowhere near his peak yet. So, that's all I want to say.
Golovkin fights a couple of years down the road. When the other, when one of the belts. You know, that's what the art of this business is. You know, Phil's got a long way to go. What he's done well. But, you know, he's probably about 70% of where he's going to be. So that's where we are. So it takes time. With all fighters, you know, some different levels you can put them in and take a chance. And some guys take a little bit longer. Some not so long. And Bill's what he's done up to now. He's done it the hard way. He's won everything.
Yeah, we've got them.
Okay, so I'm just getting a thing come through now. We're pretty much, we've got our alternative at 5 o'clock. It's been agreed, so one won't know. Where we
It's
are.
not Chris on the phone.
Sorry? Can't do nothing till Friday.
There's only one world champion who hasn't got flights set up.
We'll find out at 5.
Frank, if in an hour Chris calls you and says, yeah, I've heard what you say, give us the weekend to think about it, what would you say?
Is that a month?
Do you know what? We agreed it last night, and I think sometimes in life you get to situations where if you don't have a specific deadline, it will never happen. You had 50 deadline. In his press conference, he was asking me this morning, last night and this morning, to postpone it. But we can't keep postponing things. At the end of the day, we're running a show. The fans want to know what's going on. It leaves everything up in the air, and it's been out there for me that we got the fight made because I thought we had. We are where we are now, and as I say, it's now in his lawyer and Christian Senior's hands to make sure that if they want the fight, that it happens.
Very unprofessional on that side.
I said it is farcical. I've never, enough's enough sort of thing. So, and I was coming here today to say that was it. Enough was enough. He's the boss as far as who he wants to fight. So it's 5 o'clock deadline, and that's where we are.
Do you think it shows a level of inexperience on their side? It's not like you make seniors ever handle any other fight.
I don't know. I mean, it's just frustrating. He's obviously young Christopher's father. He's got his best interests at heart, and he's got his agenda. And whatever his agenda is, he has to tailor his son's career to that. But sometimes oil and water don't mix. And at the moment, that's where we are. And I've never heard my solicitor last night. I've never heard her scream and shout down the phone. She was pretty calm and collected. She was screaming down the phone. Like to calm her down. Normally it's the other way around. But anyway, we are where we are, and hopefully we can move forward. But it is a cracking show, and hopefully we can get this done and give the fans what they want. Because that's the business we're in, giving the fans what they want. We don't duck out and making big fights. We're trying to make big fights. Any more questions, or we done? Thanks very much for coming along. Thank you.